Hello, so we're trying this again. My network was really poor, so I had to move a little bit. I hope you can see me okay. Hi there, this is this week's edition of Career Change Talks. It's me, your host, Veronica Yusuf. And I want to say hello and welcome to all of you who just started following us. We noticed that there has been a spike. I think from a particular post which I posted last week. So far, I think there's over 8K, 8.5K views. So, of course, that's an indication that a lot of people are interested in that topic. And so, because of that, I'm going to be doing a series where I will be talking around jobs within the NHS, within the civil service, jobs that require visa sponsorship. How do you get prepared? And all of that. And some of you are joining our membership community, so we look forward to having you and supporting you as you carry on in this journey. So there is a particular thing I want to talk about today from conversations that I've had. Hi girl boss GE. So I've been talking to a lot of people, and people reach out to say, oh, I've got only 3 months, 2 months before my visa ends, and I need a job that would give me visa sponsorship, your skilled worker visa. For those of you, of course, that know, so international students who require that to work in the UK. Hello, I'm good. How are you? So people come on and they're like, oh, I don't have long, before my graduate visa expires and I need a job that will give me visa sponsorship for me to remain. And they have like really 2 months, 3 months, and it's more like running around like headless chickens because they haven't positioned themselves well. Now, some of them might be, lucky because they're able to, move really quickly and eventually can secure roles. But some might actually not be able to do that. So I want to really talk about how you can position yourself, give yourself enough time. So you're not getting to the last minute and you're running around because you haven't got, long, before your visa expires. So especially for people who, this is September, you have new entrants, people are now registering for master's degree around September, October. So there's going to be a lot of people on these programs. That is the right time for you to start preparing. Now, especially because you really want to stay on as a skilled worker in the UK, especially with the recent updates and changes. One thing that is really letting a lot of people down is that salary threshold. Now it is higher because, of course, the UK wants people that have, more skilled people to help the economy and all of that. And therefore, they have made it really more difficult because that salary band is a lot higher. It's now, I think, 41k 700 at a minimum to make you eligible or to qualify you for that visa sponsorship if that's the offer of a job that you get. And so it means that your skill level has to be, I think, level 6. So for example, the equivalent is like your your BSc. So let's say, for example, you have your first degree and you've got, that is the equivalent of what they're looking for. Although I will talk about that maybe another time, because it really does not mean that you must have, that certificate. But what they're looking for is the skills, the equivalent skills at that level is very key. So we'll talk about what does that even mean. Maybe another time I'll come on. But so that is one. So in terms of your skill level, it has to be that. Then from the experience perspective, and then the sort of job offer that you must target, it has to be one that is on that, let's say, band, for those NHS civil service jobs, band 6 and above, jobs that will be able to pay you 41k 700 at a minimum. But you see, you don't want to wait till you have only 2 months or 3 months on your graduate visa before you start positioning yourself. What do I mean? you have got to start from the very first year on your post-study. You've now finished your master's, or in fact, by the end of your towards the end of your master's, you should already start thinking about developing relevant skills. If you know that you are going to require a job that you are going to require visa sponsorship, you must make sure that you are developing relevant skills from the get-go. Relevant skills and experience that will help you to be well positioned to apply for those sort of roles. I hear people say, "Oh, I had to settle because I have bills to pay. I have to settle maybe for support worker job that is paying you 20-something K." And can you imagine the difference, the variance between earning 20-something K and 41K 700? It is really broad. So you don't want to start at that level, because chances are that it will be very difficult for you to close that gap. It won't be that easy. So you start your postgraduate, you've got to start picking up skills. You can start developing experience even within the university that you're going through, that you're going through your master's degree. For example, there are different communities, there are student council projects. So you want to make sure that you are attending all of that. You are now telling maybe people within these spaces, these places, to say, right, okay, I want to start picking up skills. Probably on project management, they would have digital transformation initiatives. They would have, different process improvement projects and things like that. Which, again, the reason I'm mentioning those two in particular is because civil service, NHS, they are very big on those sort of experience. So from year one of your graduate visa, you've got to start thinking skills. How can I pick up relevant skills? How can I pick up relevant experience, which will then help me to be well positioned to apply for band 6, band 7 jobs, so that I can meet that salary threshold requirement. That is something that you must think about. And so again, you don't have to, you can do volunteering. You can volunteer on campus. You can look for small organizations, small businesses to volunteer. You can look for charities. You can look for social enterprise organizations that have different projects. And all of these things are available online. And I'm sure when you get into university on campus, if you ask, they will show you, they would definitely have a list. So what you want to do is to start positioning yourself from that point to pick up relevant skills. Now, I'm going to talk about tech skills because I believe that is one easy route. It doesn't take as long as maybe others for you to be able to pick up these skills, and then you can then apply for NHS, civil service, or even other private sector or companies that would, of course, pay you that 41K 700. So I will talk today about tech skills. Now, I'm not talking about learning coding. I'm not talking about learning programming and all of that. I'm talking about skills like project management, business intelligence, business analysis, information governance. Now, a lot of these jobs I've talked about before, you can get that, you can get sponsorship, and these jobs will pay you from 40K, 41K, 42K and above. That's why I think it's an easy route if you are thinking, or if you require the skilled worker visa sponsorship. So these are areas. And it is also very important to pick up project management skills. You can even initiate a pet project where you are now saying, okay, I'm running this project, and what are the jobs looking for? Go on to go on to NHS Jobs UK, go on to civil service jobs. You can find out on gov.uk. Look at some of these jobs and see what their requirements are. What skills do they require? What is the person's spec saying? And then you now say, okay, I don't have these skills. How can I begin to develop these skills so that by the time I am at the end of month 12, at the end of 1 year, I would have developed a portfolio. I would have even picked up some certifications, because all of this will count in your application. When you're looking for civil service jobs and NHS jobs, these are things that they would put in. You will find them in the job description. But if you want to at least know them, you have got to do the research. Go on to civil service jobs, go on to gov.uk, go on to nhsjobs.uk or nhsjobs.com, and look at them and find them and say, okay, if project management is what I'm interested in, if business intelligence, business analysis, service delivery, project coordinator, project support, information governance, the list goes on. Look for these roles on these sites, and then look at what they're looking for in terms of skills, and start developing the skills from year one of your post-study, so that you don't get to months, I don't know, when you have just 3 months and you're now like, oh goodness, I don't have long and I need a job that will pay me 41k 700 as a minimum and all of that. So you've got to start early enough. And the way that you can start is by going online to find these jobs, look for what they require, and start preparing for it. Start developing the skills. Now, if you feel like, oh, I can't afford a boot camp, you can go by yourself. You can develop a project. I come for someone looking for a skilled workers visa in project management. Should he get the certification or technical skills? Skills. That's a very good question. So maybe you didn't attend. We had a free webinar on Sunday, and that question came up. Certifications are good. They give you an edge, but a lot of these jobs would also say / equivalent. So somebody asked a question on Sunday, and the person said, if the job description says Prince 2 certification or certificate, do they mean that if you don't have Prince 2 certificate, you can't apply? The answer was no, because they normally will say Prince 2 certificate or equivalent. So let me just tell you, it's about skills. It's about the skills. So I think I talked about it. I shared something 2 days ago, and I was saying that if, for example, for project management, Prince 2, you don't have Prince 2 just yet, and you really need to apply for that visa sponsorship job, you want to say, okay, what does Prince 2 really entail? What are the skills that you would learn, that you would need to develop, that you would need to learn when you are preparing for your Prince 2 certification? So they talk a lot about stakeholder management, they talk about planning, they talk about scheduling, they talk about rates management, and all of these things would be in the person's specification. So if you have developed the skills from anywhere else, that is what they mean by the equivalent. So it's about the skills. So if you can, in your supporting statement, say where it says Prince 2 certification, that might be desirable. And as you're writing your supporting statement, you can actually say, yes, do not have, or maybe you say you are planning to get a Prince 2 certificate. However, you've got skills in stakeholder management, you've got skills in rate management, risk management, and all of these things that Prince 2 requires. You may have developed it from, working on something where, so you can use that in your supporting statement. That's why that supporting statement is very key. However, if you can, book for Prince 2 certification, do it, but you can use an equivalent and you'll be fine, because one of the ladies who is a PM now with the NHS didn't have it, but she was able to demonstrate in her supporting statement that she's got the skills, which of course would have been outlined in Prince 2. So the equivalent also would work, and you don't necessarily need to if you don't have it. But of course, we will say it's good to have it, so you can say, right, okay, at least it gives you a bit more credibility and stuff like that, so you can put it there. But if you don't have it and you're desperate at this moment, what you want to draw from all other skills that you've developed over time, that of course aligns with Prince 2, with what Prince 2 requires. So it's about the skills and not so much about the paper, because anybody can do a read and pass a certification, or but they may not know about how to apply these skills. So the big one is about skills development, which is what I'm talking about today. Like they say, skilled worker. So they want to know that, have you got relevant skill? Have you got the skills that they want for that job, or that they want to hire you for? So the person spec is about the skills. It's about the skills. One thing also that came up still around this question was, Is it, do you only have to draw from very recent skills? And one of the ladies again said she was able to pull from 6 years, 7 years, 8, 9, 10 years that was relevant to the person's spec outlined on that job description. So it does not have to be what you did today, what you did a year ago, but it's got to be relevant. You've got to be able to demonstrate, yes, that, oh, I have this skill and this is how. Remember that your supporting statement, you've got to use the STAR approach, because it's you really selling yourself. It's you giving examples of where you have been able to demonstrate this skill. And that is what makes your supporting statement go through or not. It's using the STAR approach. And that was something that was covered on Sunday. So I hope that answers your question. So like I was saying, don't wait until you have 3 months left. Yes, I know people are like, oh, we've got to just get a quick job. We settle for anything, just, to pay the bills and all of that. Do you know, another point that was raised was that, let's say, for example, the NHS is one that you are interested in. You can go in at a lower band from year one of your graduate visa. You can go in at a lower band. Yes, you are. Yeah, cool. You can go in at a lower band. So you can go in at band 3, band 4, just to get a foot in the door, right? And then you're developing familiarity within the health service. So you'll understand that environment and how they work and stuff like that. Then by the time you have done maybe 12 months and you now know that, oh, I'm going to require that visa sponsorship very soon, then you start talking to your line manager. You start looking internally to see where openings for band 6, 7, and 8 will come up, so that you can apply for that, because you know that you've got to meet that 41k 700 salary threshold. That is a requirement, or else you will not, you won't get that sponsorship visa. So you'd have spent 12 months at a lower band, maybe at band 4, I think, band 4, yeah. And which of course is, I think, between 35k is what you'll be earning. So imagine you have done that, and of course you now understand the system. You have a line manager, you have a team, people are familiar with you within that trust, especially if the trust offers sponsorship at the higher band level. So you don't have to settle for maybe support worker jobs, because yes, you want to pay bills, but get in at a fairly reasonable band that you've got an opportunity to go higher in a short space of time. So that's the point that I am really trying to make here, because a lot of people just jump on anything and are like, oh, I've got to be, but you've got to be strategic. If you really want to nail this one, you've got to be strategic from year one of your graduate visa, especially because okay, by year 2, you now need to apply for sponsorship. So if NHS is the one, or civil service, get in at a lower band, and then by the time you have done 6 months, 12 months, you start speaking to people internally. You start looking for openings that would of course be internal, because some of these openings are advertised only within the trust. For NHS, they would only be applied internally, and maybe only available or accessible to people who are in the organization at the time. So you want to get a foot in the door from the beginning. Don't go and spend time doing one customer service, one retail, something somewhere that is not going to help your supporting statement from a skill perspective. So it's important that you're laser focused. It's important that you are strategic about this one. So skills development is very essential. Certification also important, but it's not like it's not that it's going to give you the job, but it's good, because again, in some cases it might be essential. So if it is essential, then you need to get it. So for those of you who are looking at project management, you want to look at Prince 2, you want to look at PMP, which of course is by PMI. Those of you who are looking at business analysis, you want to look at BCS, so your British Computer Society Foundation Certificate, or your ECBA, which is one that we offer. We have our September dates now available. So those of you who want to get onto business analysis and you want to get a certification, you can DM me and we'll provide you with the details. So you want to start picking up the relevant skills and the hands-on experience, because you have got to be able to demonstrate this in your supporting statement. if you are looking for NHS and civil service jobs. I'm talking about this because it looks like a lot of interest in the past week or two from the post that I shared last week. So I'm sure most of you want to do that. So you need to focus on skills development. What are the skills? Don't go for the very difficult ones. Go for the easy ones so that you get a foot in the door. Another one that you can consider is project support, project coordinator within the civil services. Very popular, and you can get those jobs that will pay 41k, 42k and above, and that all, of course, in some cases they might offer visa sponsorship. I'm not saying they will offer visa sponsorship in all cases, but project support, project coordinator, PMO are also jobs that you can find. Civil service is one to look at. Civil services is very important because I think they tend to pay fairly higher. So you want to look at those civil service jobs, whether it's project support, project coordinator, project admin, PMO analysts, and all of that. So there are different titles within civil services. So these are the areas that are very easy to get into. Then you now start picking up skills. Now, if you want to even explore that, they are easy for you to develop those skills on your own. You can have a pet project. You can, develop, start something, or look for, like I already mentioned, charities and small businesses. You are in a community, you are in a church, you are, there's something that you do socially that they have different projects. You can reach out to them to say, I'm building my portfolio, because that portfolio building is very important. It is from this portfolio that you will draw on for your supporting statement when you're going through that civil service and NHS application. So you need to start building that portfolio. Please don't wait till when you have only 3 months left. Start from when you have, in fact, up to a full year or even more, 18 months actually. If you've done 6 months to settle in and all of that, maybe you had to take on a quick job just to, make ends meet. But now, by the time you've got like 18 months to go, you now have to be very intentional and go with civil service. How do I get in? How do I get those jobs that, of course, will get me a foot in the door? Then I can start building on that. So don't wait till the last minute. We've had people who have jumped onto our boot camp. Well, at least luckily, I think the ones that jumped up recently had like 6 months to go. So I think there's one that is by January, she her visa would have expired. So she needs a job that would offer visa sponsorship before January, but she started the boot camp a few months ago. So, but my point is, and I'm getting that a lot. I was talking to a gentleman who said, I have 8 weeks. I'm like, how are you going to do that? What are the offerings from Sterling Career for PM? Okay, Sykes. So for PM, we have 12 weeks. We have the 12 weeks boot camp. And then we also have 8 weeks PMO. So that's your project support, project coordinator. For the 12 weeks boot camp, when you say what are you offering, so you get access to a project. We have internal projects, we have external projects. At the moment, we have an external client project with a legal firm, so you can be exposed to working on that to develop the relevant skills. We have a solid project management trainer who has 20 plus years within the tech space. So he's just finished with our previous cohort, and they're now going into working on a project. So you start by the theory classes, which will be around Saturdays, weekends. So because again, it's more flexible. And we also have evenings. A lot of people after their 9-to-5 jobs. We also have people who are in care, who do agency or shift work. We also have some flexibility for them. We will now place you maybe together with people who have that similar situation, and then you guys can work during the day, maybe if you've got night shift and stuff like that. So you've got theory classes that last for 5 weeks. Then you have access to a live project we give you a bonus. You do that for about two months, most times 10 months really. no, sorry, 10 weeks, not 10 months, 10 weeks. So you're working on a real life project and you have access to our tools, access to PMR, so project management, so what do you call it, tool. So we've got, at the moment, we use Excel. You have our basic IT skills, which again is very essential. Everybody who comes to the bootcamp must start with basic IT skills, because we find that some people join the program and they have no idea even how to share screen. Some people just don't even know. When we say, okay, share your screen, and people are like, I don't know how to share a screen. And it's not a bad thing, because they have not had the opportunity, because probably on the job that they were doing before. But in tech, you've got to learn how to share screen. You've got to learn basic IT skills. I'm not talking about coding, but Excel, simple Excel, Word, PowerPoint. These are things that you would need. And we have a course, which is quickly what you will do first of all. So you have exposure to basic IT skills training. You've got the tutor-led theory classes, project management, planning, project charter, stakeholder management, everything that you need as a project manager. You do that for 5 weeks. Then we now move you on to projects. So you work on a live project. Do you have you have that. I was coming to that. So you finish your live project, and then you move to what we used to call it our CV clinic, but we just changed the name to Job Strategy Hub and KSS. So KSS means knowledge sharing session. We have experts, we have mentors that will share different things. Some alumni members come in to share their experiences on the job and stuff like that. Then we will take you through interview prep sessions. Coaching is a group one. We look at your CV. We show you how to use different AI tools, or how to do it manually. So we have that. So CV writing, interview prep, LinkedIn optimization. Then you have access to our portal. So within that portal, we have hundreds of tutorials, different stages. There are 5 stages. Tutorials that we have said, okay, how do you tailor your CV? How do you use different tools and stuff like that? So you've got that. And so, so the career coaching, the hands-on experience, the theory, tutor-led classes, you have all of that. And then we give you certificate of completion. We are IIB endorsed. We are also CPD accredited, and we are on the UK registered learning provider list as well. So you get all of that. Then we give you reference. So when you eventually are finished, because you are working with us, therefore we give you reference for the time that you've been with us. If you're working on an external client project, we also give you reference from our parent company, which is an IT consulting firm. So there's a lot that you get, and then you remain in the community. Even after your program has finished, there are a lot of people who have been with us, they've gotten jobs, but they are still in that community, and all of that. So that is what it offers. What is the pay? What's the fee? So the 12 weeks is $850, and you can spread the cost across 3 months. Those of you who know Klarna or ClearPay, we allow that. But we've got the 8 weeks, which at the moment is going for, I think is going for $550. If you just want quickly to jump on for 8 weeks. Some people feel like 12 weeks is long. It used to be 6 months, but we actually reduced it a little because people are like, well, I just want to hurry up and get out there. So we've got the 12-week track, which is 3 months, and then we also have the 2 months track. So the 12 weeks is $850. You can spread the cost. Then the 2 months is $550, which of course is open now for those who want to jump in. I hope that answers your question, but you can tell that you get a lot. There are also, you'll be exposed to different like-minded individuals within the community. Different cohorts are doing different things. You also have exposure to our past projects. So we got like a repository of projects that we've done several years. So you can go through them and you can just make it your own. As long as you can defend it at an interview, we give you access to that and access to our tools. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you found this very useful. Please don't wait until you have 2 months, until you have 6 weeks or 8 weeks before your visa expires. Start working on developing relevant skills from year 1 of your post-study, of your graduate visa. Start getting that, start building your portfolio so that you can use that when you are doing your application process. Because I've had too many people saying, oh, I need to join your bootcamp now, and all of that. Let's talk, Faye. We tend not to do that because somebody just paid yesterday and paid in full. We tend not to do that, but I think we can just let's talk in the DM. It's not something we tend to do, but we sometimes we make allowances here and there, but it will not be more than two installments. It will not be more than 2 installments because it's already reduced as it currently stands. So if that's something that you're interested in, let's chat with me in the DM and we can see about how we can support you. Okay, so skills. That is what is moving the needle. And the job market has opened up now. A lot of people are getting interviews. LinkedIn is buzzing. People are getting, I know somebody who just had 3 interviews. This is what, Tuesday, isn't it? So, and it's all from LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, again, we show you how to optimize your LinkedIn. We show you how to engage. There's a new thing we're doing now, which is getting popular, what you call ResLink. So your resume in a video format. So you record your cover letter, let's put it that way, like you're selling yourself, and you attach it with your application to the LinkedIn, maybe the talent person, the recruitment person that you find on LinkedIn. So one quick hack for you as you're applying for jobs, don't make sure you tailor your CV, but when you have tailored it, go onto LinkedIn and look for that company, find their LinkedIn page and see if you can find that recruiter on LinkedIn. So what you now want to do is, you just reach out to them. That's why LinkedIn is so important. That's where a lot of people are getting calls. People are getting notice from LinkedIn. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get onto LinkedIn if you want to get into tech, right? If you're on this page, I'm going to be telling you all the time. Some people have not applied for jobs, but they have gotten contacted via LinkedIn and they've been able to get onto interviews and have secured roles. If you haven't done that, please go and get your LinkedIn optimized. Now, you have applied for that role. What you now want to do is follow up. So you applied maybe 2 weeks ago and you haven't heard back. If they haven't said, oh, sorry, you haven't been successful. It's funny because I was talking to somebody and the person applied to one organization twice. They got a rejection from one and then got an interview booked. But I think it was because the person applied twice and they needed more BAs and stuff like that. So they, when the person was invited to the interview, they now said, all right, because we saw that you applied twice. And so we canceled one and then we scheduled an interview for you. Now, my point here is that if you don't follow up with recruiters and you are applying, you say, oh, I've applied for 100 jobs, I haven't heard anything, and you haven't followed up, chances are that other people who are more intentional, people who are driven, people who are proactive, have already reached out to these recruiters and, of course, have gotten interviews booked. Therefore, they will definitely not come back to you because a lot of people, so people are being more proactive now. And one thing that people are doing is using video resumes. So they're almost like recording, tell me about yourself. This is who I am. This is the skill I've got. This is the experience. And this is why I'll be a good fit for the role and all of that. And you record a short video, not too long, a short video, and attach the link to your application. The reason why as a hiring manager, I will want to listen to someone who has sent me a video because I'm interviewing all the time. Well, with time when I was, I would want to listen to somebody that has sent me a video because I will feel like that person has put in the extra work, has taken the extra step. So recruiters will definitely click that video. You might think that, it's a lot of work, but just that little extra that you do might just be what will move the needle for you. So start doing video resumes, short, 1 minute, 2 minutes max, attach it with your application, attach a cover letter, follow up with that recruiter after you have completed your application. Don't just sit there because, like I say within the academy, nobody's coming to give you the job in your house. You've got to go and get it. So that's an extra thing that we have been talking about. We're going to be talking about it tomorrow because we have our KSS session, finally, for those that are now on the job market. So do the extra, go the extra mile. follow that recruiter up, connect with them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is opening up. And also there's what you call the September-October surge. Summer is gradually coming to an end. People are returning back from the summer holiday. Hiring managers, decision makers, recruiters are returning from the summer holiday. Therefore, the job market will open again. Yes, there have been redundancies before summer. This is the time that you need to start following people up. So don't apply for a job and you just sit there. You've got to do the extra for you to move that needle. Okay, so for connection, and that's all I've got for today. If anybody watches this in the replay, you can say replay, and ask your question. Use that question symbol, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. So I'm going to be doing this series just talking about maybe the NHS jobs, civil services. There's a lot that will be coming, and I'll keep talking more about it. And I look forward to welcoming those of you who want to jump on our bootcamp, because you're going to develop very relevant skills. We have people who have finished the bootcamp and they're now working within private sectors, working within the civil service, working in the NHS, just from the skills that developed from our bootcamp. So if you want to join our August bootcamp, it is open. We have people already registering. We're going to start sending out onboarding emails this week to people, and we get them, listed. We get them onboarded. So you'd have us, we'll set you up on our system. You have your email, and everything that you need. We'll start sending out that this week. So this is a time to join. You want to join, get into the DM, ask any more questions that you have, and we look forward to welcoming you. And so look out for the series that I'm going to be doing on sponsorship visas, NHS jobs, civil service jobs, and I'll just keep talking and unpacking as much information. So again, welcome to those of you who just joined this account. We hope that you find a lot of information. Share this video with anybody who you think needs it. The series that I posted something today for those who are just enrolling in September, October. I put together what I'm calling a playbook, a 12 months playbook that would also be available for those that join our membership. One more thing before I go. A lot of people have been saying, mentor me, mentor me, mentor me. Mentor me is not for free. Mentor me is called our Tech Start Lab. It is it's amazing. You will be exposed to mentors from civil services, from the NHS, from private organizations who have been within the tech industry. They're going to be in that community, and there will be templates, there will be video trainings, and lots of the things I talk about, all of that will be in there. So we have so far over 150 people who have said mentor me. Mentor Me is not a free community. It is a paid community, but it is just £20 a monthly subscription, which you can maybe do for 3 months, 6 months. And when you feel like, okay, I think I've had enough, I have binged on all the things that are in the community, you can cancel. Nobody's going to hold you back. The reason